Here we go. Rock and roll. It's another edition of Less Kevin, More Tech from UTech IT.
IT.com.
And today we've got a guest. And I think we said it once or twice, but this might be one of the all-time favorites.
There we go.
Anybody that's listened, the 8 people that listen to our podcast will
to
know
8
that
already?
this is one of our favorite companies to talk about and work with. And today we have I don't know what her official title is. It really doesn't matter, but she's the head chef, cook, does all the stuff.
Yeah.
Makes the owner look really good because he can't do it on his own.
Which
But,
she said is a very difficult job.
Yes.
It's a
part
full-time
is-
job.
that is
It's impossible. And she's putting sexy back in the executive transportation business. And we have Maya from Golden Limo.
Well, welcome to me. And good morning to you all.
Maya, how you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Yeah, you came in, you're just full of energy and boundless enthusiasm, and then you meet us.
Well, I absolutely love coming into this building, and you all are responsible for handling our IT at Golden and keeping things running smoothly, so we're just thrilled to death. But the sun is shining. How can I not be happy
Oh
today?
my gosh, aren't you? You're so in Michigan, February, sunshine. Yeah, I mean you can't ask for
That
anything
is
better
correct.
except to be in Vegas.
That's coming. But just for work reasons, of course.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Heads down.
So on a serious note, we've had a great partnership with Golden Limo, right?
Yes.
Sean Duvall's the fearless leader of your organization, right?
Correct.
And he's Mr. Ann Arbor. He's Mr. Southeast Michigan. He's everything to everybody. And you're really the key to all the success over there, aren't you? He gets all the credit. You do all the work.
I wouldn't say the key to success is me or Sean. It would absolutely be our staff, and that would be our office and our chauffeurs. That's the key to the success for us. But, we do a good job, I think, with transportation, and Sean shines out in the community and brings more exposure to the company, and we're so grateful for everything that he does. But, again, we would be nothing without the staff.
Wow. It's fantastic.
And that's true. And I think anytime you're in a service business like we are, right?
Yes.
It's the people out there on the front lines every day making it happen. And it's so important that they come in with a good attitude like you have. It's contagious, right? But we've used Golden Limo for executive travel, whether it's picking up family go to the airport or shuttling guests to the airport or back and forth or the big buses that you have to shuttle large groups around town here. Right. And it's always the drivers, and they don't know me, but I always like to ask, like, hey, what's going on over there? And it's amazing to listen to these guys rattle off how much they love working there and their jobs, and it's sincere,
So how do you build that kind of a culture?
If you're really passionate about what you're doing, so we're super passionate about service, and we align ourselves with people who have that same mindset, and you just think about what you're doing is more than what you're doing. So bigger picture of, ground transportation, it doesn't sound very exciting and very sexy, but when you start to think about what we do and how we support other people's lifestyles or their journey or their mission in saving or helping someone else, then it's like, okay, we can get behind this.
That's awesome. And then, so I feel it from you, right? It's coming across the table. But how do you move that throughout an organization?
You have to live it every day. If we all have bad moments, down slopes and all of that. But as long as you keep your eye focused on what's really important, what the full mission is, what you're doing, and you find joy, every day, that's the thing. And you have to remember that joy and happiness is a choice. So that's just something you have to every day decide, I'm going to find some value in this day, in this
Words
moment.
of wisdom.
Yes. We got to take that under advisement.
Change your choices.
Yeah, especially after our forecast meetings.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's never fun. Unless you're killing it. You got to get out there and start killing it.
Yeah.
So Golden Limo
Yes.
is the name of the company, right?
Golden Limousine International.
Yes. And when we hear Golden Limousine, sometimes my simple mind goes back to prom and a big limo to get picked up to go there. That's not what we're talking about here, is it?
Not at all. So I've been with the organization now for 16 years. And when I started, there were some stretch limousines in the parking lot, quite a few of them, and they were white. So truly prom, wedding kind of vehicles. But as we've evolved, we've gotten away from the stretch limousines. But the thing that stays there, though, is the service. So when people in the 80s or the 90s were thinking about limousines, they're thinking about, this premier service, a tuxedoed chauffeur and doors opened and, just this high level of service that was only reserved for the rich and the famous, right?
Yeah.
And so if someone got a limousine for a prom or a wedding, they felt, so fancy.
Right, yeah.
But we found that limousine service, the car is shorter, now it's a sedan, but it allows people to work, to take care of business. So if you think about an executive person that's traveling, we create this environment for them in the back where they're able to do work. So if they're taking conference calls, they're able to use that time wisely while they're traveling to where they need to go.
Safely.
Very safely, right? We think about just your family taking a car service to the airport or something like that. Again, it's this service. So think about your family going on a vacation, right? And you want to create this experience for them from the time they leave the house, until the time they arrive to the resort or whatever. But we're able to create this experience so people are able to travel safely, enjoy their time together.
How cool is that?
It's the best.
See, I always think that's neat to go that way.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate it when we talk about Detroit and you're talking about January, February, and hell, it's March and April, and May in Detroit.
Yeah.
But when you get off that airplane and you go out and you got a driver to greet you right away, help you with your bags,
Right.
get you to your car, and you got a warm, comfortable car to get into versus scraping the windows and hitting the ice and heating that thing up.
I never appreciated that service until I came back during a blizzard, and I had that same experience, like, oh my gosh. I came back from Florida. And it was so warm and wonderful, and I came in, then it snowed, and there's ice, but there was a chauffeur waiting to help with bags, got me to a nice warm car right home, and it's a great experience.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was it Sean?
No. No, we're going to leave that to the professionals.
Yeah. I once heard he was, one of your clients, University of Michigan, right? And
Yes.
there's some transportation needs for the football team to a certain game, and he stood up and volunteered for that one.
Yes, we keep Sean out of the buses now. Let him enjoy that game.
Yeah.
It's our favorite game of the year.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, Maya, in true disclosure, being Buckeye fans, we'd probably appreciate if he drove the Michigan football team to the game right after the last couple of years, wouldn't we?
I'm very, very loyal to my football team for sure. But I also remember and respect that the University of Michigan is one of my largest clients, and
Safety.
that's right.
That's why we keep
That's
Well,
right.
That's an important point that I think people overlook a lot of times. I mean, we talk about executive travel to and from the airport. You talk about getting groups around town, but that executive travel piece, or whether it's just going across town for a meeting, it's different than people always try to compare it to an Uber. You know what I mean? That an Uber may cost a couple bucks less, but these are trained professionals
100%.
driving a car. They're licensed, they're screened, they're continuous education on stuff, right?
100%. So there's a term that we use in the industry called duty of care. So for travel managers, they hear that and it's like, oh yeah, I perked up right away. But duty of care means that we are going through the process of vetting our chauffeurs, background checks, substance abuse testing, constant training. we take safety very, very seriously. We take the idea that people are entrusting a lot of times the brain force of their organizations, their executives in our vehicles. So we absolutely want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can. So you hear Golden Limousine International, and people say, really, you guys are international here in Michigan? Yes, we are based here in Michigan, but we truly manage ground transportation for people globally. So one of the very important aspects of my job, and probably one of my favorite things, is that I'm responsible for making sure we have an affiliation of partners around the world. So wherever our clients travel, we have safe, reliable, professionally trained transportation and chauffeurs for them. In fact, I'm going later on this week to Charlotte because we just secured a new account that's headquartered in Charlotte, but I need to make sure that all of my partners that will be providing the services are exactly what we need them to be. So I'll be down there training people, going through insurance, background checks, all of those things actually on the ground in Charlotte to set up for this new client.
You know, that hit home. I was traveling a couple of years ago to Dallas, and I'd left it up to a colleague to make the arrangements to and from the airport to the conference. And I just remember there was a crazy rainstorm that day, and as we're getting in this little Uber car that wasn't clean, kind of beat up. I was really surprised it was on the road. I'm looking at those bald tires, and I'm thinking, how are we getting here? You know what I mean? Talk about praying, Jelly Roll likes to say, what, I need a favor or a prayer, and that was true that moment. And I've never, ever since then, I've always said, it's worth every dime that you pay to get there.
Right. And some of these ride share programs, they really do take advantage of people during surge pricing. So they find, high demand during this time or that time. And while you may pay $5 to get home, going back maybe $500, just depends on what's going on. So we have that consistency. We work with integrity always. We're aware of, what people need to do in order to be in business and be profitable and not take advantage of them that way.
So you provide the quality service, but it's a budgetable. There's no surprises.
No surprises. We're very, very upfront with people about what service is going to be. And I mean, you recognize that good service, good quality is not going to be cheap. It's but our service is worth what you're doing, what you're paying for.
I see you guys growing.
Yes, we are.
I was coming down or cruising down Rochester Road in downtown Rochester, and there comes the Golden Limousine, and I want to say it looked almost like a trolley car, for gosh sakes, or something like that. So
yes, we do have a fantastic streetcar trolley that's just beautiful. It just brings about all this nostalgia for people. It's one of our favorite vehicles for brides and for weddings, but also there are lots of companies that like to use that if they're creating an experience, maybe a shuttle, an off-site dine around, or something special for their employees, that they'll use something like that. Festival transportation. Lots of different things.
Yeah, I can attest to that my brother-in-law was married a few years ago, and we called our good friends at Golden Limo. We said we'd love to have that trolley. It was over here at St. John's Inn. It was going from a church in Northville, and that was so cool. I mean, they loved it. It was a great experience, but everybody at the wedding was commenting on how cool it was to have the trolley. And you don't see them anymore, but it was a really unique experience.
Yeah, a friend of ours and your employee, Kevin, also for his daughter's wedding, they used a trolley, and such beautiful. I'm sorry, I said the wrong person.
It was Joe Green.
Joe Green. My gosh, I'm looking at you, Kevin, and
keep looking at me, babe.
That's right. But Joe's daughter got married and used a trolley, and such beautiful pictures. And we actually are very fortunate that they're allowing us to use the pictures for our marketing. But you could just see the joy,
By the way, it's okay. A lot of people confuse Joe and Kevin around the office, so it's
It's the dark hair, I guess.
Kevin owns up to it, though. He's always wanted to grow up and be like Joe, so.
Joe will say something else.
But I was just, because I'm used to seeing him here in and around the Ann Arbor area.
Right.
So I'm over there on the other side of Oakland County there, and I see that trolley pull up, and I was like, wow. What do you attribute the growth, the business growth that you're having? Is it really based upon your core principles of service,
100%.
right?
100%.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Right.
I was at a conference last week, and they talked about people using other services and going to other services. And I don't remember the exact study that was done, but the numbers were crazy. And the number of satisfied customers that will leave you for a cheaper price.
Right.
And that number was crazy. It was in the 80 percentile range, right? And they said they will leave, but they'll come back to you because of service.
Okay.
So if we lay that groundwork for service, people may go and they may have a different experience, but then they can come back to say, we can absolutely rely on Golden Limousine to handle all of the things that we need to be taken care of so that we don't have any sleepless nights,
Right.
that our accounting department doesn't have these surprises, that we all know what to expect. And, Golden Limousine is a company that is easy to work with and also delivers.
Right. So these conferences, are they typically out of state? Or I'm just curious.
Yeah. A lot of the ones that I attend are out of state. I'm very, very fortunate that I do get to attend and learn, but also that I'm
Best
able to
practices and bring it back.
exactly, and also that I'm able to teach sometimes. Also, I'm a speaker at conferences.
Oh, fantastic!
Too. Last year, I was elected to the board of directors of the National Limousine Association.
Really?
So that's really kind of opened our horizons.
So now we really do know it's her that runs the dance show there.
We're speaking with tall cotton here.
I
You
know.
know what I mean? This is good stuff.
Yeah. So the conference occurs. You're at a nice resort hotel, and I'm just wondering, a whole bunch of limos and stuff. Is it like a traffic jam up front?
When I first started going to the limousine conventions, there would be a lot of cars, a lot of limousines on the show floor. But like everything else, there has been an influx of technology in our industry. So there's a little bit of everything. So you'll have software providers, you'll have IT people. You guys need to come to this. You'll have suppliers for vehicles, parts, call centers, all kinds of things.
Wow.
Training programs. So our conferences are pretty well rounded.
Yeah.
Less of a focus on the vehicle, more of a focus now on the services and ease of use.
Right. Development of your employees and training.
Without a doubt.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. Last fall, Sean Duvall had won an award from the Boy Scouts for all the work he's done
Yes.
to promote them and work with them. And we had to give a speech. They said 2 minutes for you, Van Cannel, and cut it to 30 seconds. But
The hook came out.
and looking at this and listening to what they have gone through, Golden Limo, it's amazing when you go back since he started. We've had Y2K.
Yes.
We've had 9/11
Oh, yeah.
that just decimated the travel industry for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a great recession.
Yes.
We've had COVID. We've had terrorist attacks that have continued to impact that. And every time in insurance regulations, that's unbelievable for vehicles and drivers.
Insurance regulations for Michigan.
And I won't. Sean's told me the numbers before that were absolutely mind-boggling on what the insurance is charging this travel industry. But every time you guys are faced with adversity, it's like you get better, you get more creative, and you guys pivot, and you come out stronger on that. And I'm always awed by that.
We have to. We don't have a choice, right? So we have over 100 employees at Golden Limousine. When I started, the numbers were probably in the 20s, maybe 30s, and we've gone up and down. But when you think about every employee has a family, that is depending
Right.
on their person, right, to make a living, to support that family. So when we think about what choices do we have no choice but to be successful. We have to. So we have, at this point now, hundreds of people that are depending on the mission of Golden Limousine. We have to execute.
Yeah.
Mission-driven leadership.
I like it.
And people say that, and a lot of good people and a lot of good businesses have been faced with these types of adversities, and they haven't been able to pivot, and they can't do it, but they want to. But again, I think it's just a testament to all the people there, the service that you do, the leadership, the thinking. I was just blown away when I started thinking about all that stuff, and I think I missed one or two crises in there that we didn't bring up.
Right. We don't want to
it
cry.
was,
It's enough.
And it was just absolutely amazing. I'm like so proud of what he's done and
I
what
am
you
too.
guys have done there.
I am too.
And that's a good segue into all the things that you guys do. It might be easier to list the things you don't support versus everybody that you do support here in town, because I don't know how he gives back like he does.
Right. So we're talking about all of the charities, nonprofits, and things like that. I mean, it's a laundry list, but it all leads back to the belief that we are responsible for more than just ourselves, right? So when you are a company operating in a community as wonderful and as diverse as this one that we're in, you do have a responsibility to that community. And you have to serve in so many different ways. So whether it's, Sean serving on a board of directors, or, us supporting a local sports team, a literacy program, any of those things, we're all responsible to make sure that the community that we're living in, that we're doing business in, that we're also responsible citizens there.
Wow. Yeah, that's a heck of an impact. That's an incredible impact.
Right. Right. But again, it's a question. What choice do you have? Right. What responsibility do you have?
Yeah. I like that.
Good stuff. I mean, it's funny because I know how much you guys give and do, and we're always getting hit by a cause where we know something, and Sean's the first guy we call and say, hey, need a couple more bucks out of that wallet, and he not only gives you a couple, but he gives you a couple more than what you've ever expected you to get for that.
Right.
And it's just all the people there, and Sean gets the credit for it, but all the people there are just absolutely wonderful, and how you do that. It's so important to support, and I think people forget that again, that Uber driver, nothing against the Uber driver or somebody like that, but none of those folks are being held to giving back and
correct
and participate in community like you guys do.
Right. Well, again, we're very fortunate to be here, and we have to be sure to show our appreciation and leave a situation a little bit better than we found it. Yeah. That's something that my mom instilled in us as children. You always leave a situation a little bit better than what you found it.
So where do you see the future?
To the moon.
To the moon. Yeah.
So we would just like to.
Well, if you hook up with Elon, I think you can create some form of transportation to the moon.
I'd like to be the fourth or fifth person on that Golden Limo trip to the moon. I let a couple people go first.
That's funny. So there's a bridge in Cleveland, and my dad's 96, but it's the Guardian Bridge, which the former Indians are now the Guardians. So this bridge was built. I don't know. My dad was 4 years old, 5 years old. And he says, oh, yeah, I remember when that bridge was built. We were the first group to walk across. Yeah. It's like, whoo, I would never be the first group to walk across a bridge. No, sir.
Talk about
But with Golden Limousine, with this executive transportation, yeah, I would be the first to, whatever the new idea is for us, with the leadership of Sean, I'm going to be the first one to walk across that bridge.
That's
awesome. Because I absolutely believe in our mission. I believe in the leadership. I believe in our company.
Well, mobility is a trend that's just going to continue.
Yes.
And in corporate organizations, their makeup is now, it's not one building, triangular shaped. It's scattered.
Yes.
And people are going to need to meet.
That's true. So one of the things that we've all learned, during the shutdown of the pandemic, while, we have video calls and things like that, we do need to connect. We do need to meet in person. We do need to have conversations. We do need to team build, and all of those things are super important in order for an organization, whether it's a business or a social organization or a charity, whatever it is, we need that in order to be successful.
Yeah, well, I just saw a couple days ago, the chairman for Disney. You know, he just said, hey, you know, our product at the theater has been suffering.
Yes.
Because we don't have that collaboration and that creativity.
That makes sense. I mean, you know, you're in a room together, you get energy from one another, and you just go from 1 to 10, just, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just find that fascinating because in the creative world, you know, there's so much relied on, you know, teamwork, right? And
right.
even music, you see the creation of music and movies and you know, of course, they assemble when they're creating the actually making the product. But then after that, they disassemble. But the creative process prior to that, you know, he's saying has suffered.
I can see where that would happen without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I'm looking back, you know, I like to watch the comic book movies. But yeah, the last few over the last couple of years have been not quite as good.
Okay. Well, I don't know about all of that. I don't compare comic book movies too much, but I'm going to take.
How
your
did we
word
get to
for
comic
this.
book movies?
It's always going to come back to comic books at some point in time. We're going to talk about bowling today, comic books, and your favorite bourbon.
And bourbon.
Well, actually, we had to bribe her to get her on because she's so busy and she's in such demand, and she's so important to the success of Golden Limo that we promised her we would let her talk for a couple minutes about her family, her social life, and her grandkids.
And my grandkids.
You're on the clock.
Well,
Go.
here we go. So thank you for that. I have 2 granddaughters. They are just
Wonderful.
the love of my life, Madison and Madeline. They're 5 years old.
Do they listen to our podcast?
Yes, they will be very, very happy to see their nanny on TV.
All right.
So it'll be very exciting. But they came by way of my daughter, Erin, who's just lovely, and my son-in-law, Ronald. They're just the center of my life, and I just absolutely adore them.
Wow.
I'm working on my own personal social life, so all right, people, you see it here.
Contact information below the screen.
Below the screen.
That's
well,
fantastic.
it's good we can get 2 more kids because we've got diehard followers in Chicago with
yeah.
Zoe and Sadie.
Yeah.
That we'll add them right into the group,
That'll be
and
perfect.
we'll have the Kids Club podcast here. We can
I
talk
like
comic
it.
books.
Yeah, exactly. How old are your granddaughters?
They're 5.
They're 5.
They're
okay.
5. Yeah, they're
What a
newly
great age.
5. They're starting to read. They're writing their names. All that wonderful stuff that grandmas love.
Yeah.
So,
They live local here, so.
They live in Roseville, so not too far away.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
not too far away.
That's fantastic.
So when you go to pick them up after school, are you driving a trolley to pick them up? I mean, is that the request?
They would love that to happen, without a doubt. They love whenever I get one of the Golden Limousine cars. They call them Papa Sean's cars. You driving Papa Sean's car? Yes, I am driving Papa Sean's car
Oh,
today.
is that ever awesome? What an awesome story.
Yes.
So, yeah, that would be a great, I mean, just think you're a kid, especially, is their birthday fall during the school year?
They're in November.
November.
Yes.
Can you imagine that, your birthday? Up comes one of those trolleys or whatever.
In line with all the school buses.
Right,
get off,
exactly.
And you get off, and you're,
That's right.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be. We'll see.
What do you like to do
Well,
with
see,
them?
there's a marketing idea for all the parents listening. They should have a trolley
I like
Right.
it.
for their son or daughter's birthday.
They should. And you know what? We have a division, Golden Events, that can create the most amazing, and we have created amazing birthday parties for kids right aboard the trolley.
Oh, my
You know, we
gosh.
can take them to do something fun. We can go see a comic book movie.
Yeah.
Have cupcakes in there ready for them, balloons, the whole deal. But yeah, our events division, all jokes aside, really, they do an amazing job of creating those types of experiences for people.
Cool is that?
Well, we've been on one of those. We've been fortunate enough to be on one of those.
That's
and
right.
people don't always think about the wine tour here, but we have a nice little wine tour that you guys have put together.
Yes.
And that's something that if folks want to gather some friends,
Yep. So wine tour is another thing that we do for sure. So we have a couple of different types of wine tours. So we have some locally where you're going in like the Grass Lake area. And then we also have wine tours up in the Leelanau Peninsula and Traverse City area.
Really?
Some weekend trips that we kind of match up with golf, spa, wine tour, that kind of a thing.
Right.
So it's great.
That'd be good for you. I know you like to go to the spa.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, right? Pedicures
I'm a
for
spa
everyone.
guy. Yeah,
He's a
that's
spa
right.
guy.
You know? I could use a good facial, right?
Men.
Well, no, but, I mean, people think about the wine tours up north, but I
Right.
didn't think they always thought about down
Yeah,
here.
right.
And going out to Grass Lake, Jackson area.
Yes,
they're,
it's a
and
great experience, right?
Chelsea and Ann Arbor have some spots too that
They do.
It makes it a really nice, great afternoon or evening to spend with friends and family.
That is correct. And, you know, we were able to customize things for people and really kind of dig into what it is that you want to, what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Is it just, you know, a romantic thing? Happy Valentine's Day. We can create romantic experiences or family gatherings, team building events for companies, all kinds of things.
Very creative.
But we really work with our clients to find out what is it that you want to do and help to create that for them.
Yeah, and I know you've talked about it's another common partner that we really like, but just a simple thing for maybe in Ann Arbor and just a date night out, getting a car from Golden Limo to take you to downtown Chelsea for a nice dinner, and then
theater.
over to our favorite Purple Rose Theater,
That's
right?
right.
Spending a night there watching a great play and then just coming home safely, right? You don't have to worry about drinking and driving.
Don't have to worry about any of it. We can plan all of that for you. So either you can just decide, okay, we're just going to use you for the car, or for all of the other planning, making the dinner reservations, securing
Really?
the theater tickets, you know, any of that.
That's awesome. I wasn't aware of that part of your business.
Oh, yes.
Sounds like the fun part.
It is the fun part. It's all the fun part.
They are the
But
Swiss
that's the
Army
most
knife
fun
of
part.
transportation.
I like that.
So the to the moon isn't too far of a stretch.
No, it really isn't.
Right.
Yeah. If you can think it, we can create it.
That's so cool. Now, if we can just somehow tie a copier in to this.
I thought you were going to say you'd be over the moon if she could take you to the moon. I was ready for that.
He would just be on the moon, not over. He said, "Take me to the moon." We're all about accuracy. If you said, "Take me over the moon," then
Right.
that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. We're gonna get this right
He's going
for
to
you.
break in the
Whatever
moon
you
river
ask.
here if we're not careful. So let's continue to move on.
right. Yeah, that's
So, hey, thank you. We've used you guys for, like we said, some different events like that. We've had our March Madness and the Wild Women of the Brighton Chamber. We always make sure we have a good transportation back and forth for our March Madness event with President's
Right.
Club trips, just any type of thing. And we really do appreciate the friendship, the partnership, and as somebody that's involved in the community, myself and our team here, we love what Sean and you do to give back, and
Thank
it's so
you.
important. And I think Ellie's Place loves you guys even more than we
Yeah.
do, along with
Right.
many others. So
wonderful, folks.
thank you for that. What else do we need to ask her?
Well, we got to ask her one question.
What's that?
What is your favorite
Well,
bourbon?
hold on. Let's get her commitment that she's actually going to be for March Madness.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause she always leaves us to go someplace. You know
I'm
what I mean?
usually at a conference, but this year the conference is early, so I will be here for March Madness this year.
That's fantastic.
I'm very excited about it.
And we're excited to have you.
How wonderful.
And if people RSVP early, right, we'll come pick them up with Golden Limo and bring
That
them
is
to the
right.
Oh,
event. Get
I
that
like
trolley
it.
out. Maybe you and I
Right.
can come into that way in the trolley, huh?
we should think about that. We got a lot of customers over there in Oakland and Macomb County.
Sure.
I like the idea.
Getting
Give me a
creative.
call.
So when you have Golden Limo taking you to or from an event that serves a bourbon, you get to drink bourbon. What was that you liked?
Which bourbon do I like?
Uh-huh.
I like Maker's Mark.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh,
But I'm
we coulda
trying
had it.
something. No.
Yeah.
I'm trying something new. I
Yeah.
have Maker's Mark all the time. This is new, right?
Yeah, this is Basil Hayden. You
Basil
like?
Hayden.
Did you like it or?
I haven't had it yet.
Well, let's give
Let's
it a
not
little
waste
try.
any more time.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers to Golden Limo.
Yes, I do like this.
It's unique.
It is.
Well, I'm surprised there was any left in the bottle with Johnny over there running the board. Usually,
Yes, our engineer John.
bazooka.
No, Johnny Bourbon Bazooka.
Yeah, double barrel.
Spin this has been wonderful.
Well, thank you
It's
so
great
much
to learn
for
about you and your
Thank
family.
you for having me.
We always like to say the pleasure is all yours.
In this case, that may be right.
No.
Golden Limo, you can't beat them for executive travel. Maya, the brains behind it, the looks behind it, and everything you do. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you to your whole team at UTech for supporting us with technology. We could not do it without you.
Well, we appreciate that.
I think Timmy tries really hard because he wants to make sure he gets that airport shuttle. From
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Which
so
was
true.
actually, we got to tell it 2 seconds. So great. So Tim runs our IT and does an unbelievable job.
Unbelievable.
And how many recommendations or?
Oh God, he's got over 700. 5 out of 5. His average is 4.93. It's just it's beyond reality.
Yeah.
I mean,
believe
that's
it.
how phenomenal he is.
So we
I
heard.
believe
So
it.
we were talking to Maya about an IT issue last year, this past Christmas, and Tim was going down to see his sister in Carolinas, and she heard about that. Tim would be out for the next couple of days, and where's he going? We told her what he was doing and why he was going to be gone, and she said, we're going to be right there. Tell him not to leave the office. And within 20 minutes, we have executive car show up for Tim.
Right.
Driver gets out. Where's your suitcase? Put it in there. You should have seen Tim pounding his chest
He
like
didn't
he
know
was
what
big
hit
man
him.
on campus. It was so cool. But I mean, that's how they think. And it was just doing a little thing for Tim, and he
Super
absolutely loved it.
spectacular.
Tim's great. He
Oh, yes.
really is a great person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he takes time to explain things also, which is so important. You don't always want to be user error,
Right.
but he explains it in a way that makes you not feel silly.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's extraordinarily competent on top of all that.
That's great.
You know.
Yeah, you got to see the look on Sean's face when he asked Tim what's the problem is, and Tim goes, it's ID 10T.
Yeah.
What?
Write it down. You'll see what it means.
Oh, I got it.
ID.
It's not just a hat rack, fellas.
Maya, this is too much fun. We got to have you back again,
All right,
and
perfect.
we love you there.
Yes.
And we'll leave you with an OH.
I-O.
Go blue.